family is a very, very old family. We, as you can see in this long family tree, the first member of the family dates back to 1180. And the family started next to Florence, in Cumbiata, and then slowly came to Florence in the Renaissance moment, which was one of the most important moments for the development of our town of Florence. And this is actually when we started to be in the wine business. So 1385, there was the first member of the family that took care and started to enter in this guild, the Vintners Guild, because Florence, the skills were divided in guilds. So there was the banking guild, the painting guild, and everything, and also the Vintners Guild. And what is extraordinary is that we have always had one member of the family, generation after generation, taking care of the wine business. So I am today the 26th generation that is in the wine business. Now obviously it takes a long time to build up let's say brands and names, but this long tradition has for sure helped us in passing on generation after generation, first of all the passion and also the attachment to the territory, and also a tradition, and also being able to use that tradition to create other traditions. So this is a little bit, I think, what such a long story can add to us in a way. So we're very, very respectful for this, and we understand how much value this has had for us and has also for the future in a way. So it is mainly since 4 generations that the wine business has become more important, also because of historical moment, in the sense that when my father took the reins of the company in '66, still in the countryside, the wine was made from the peasants living in the countryside. And this, so mostly the families were selling and promoting their wines made in their estates, but it was mostly done from the people that were working in the countryside, that the landowners would give a house and a piece of land, and they would give a part of the products to the landowner. So this is how it was working. It was called mezzadria. Yeah. So this changed, and in that moment my father started the business, took the reins of the company. This was in '66. And it was this historical moment, this after-war moment, and also he had traveled a lot. And he thought that in his estates, which at that moment were mostly in 3 areas of Tuscany, so Chianti Classico, where we are now, the area of Bolgheri, on the beach, and the area of Orvieto, in Castel della Sala. This is what we actually had at that time. We had around 300 hectares at that time. So he started to believe that other kind of wines could be made, and that's when Tignanello was born in '71, which is one of the most innovative wines of this area. And also after he made a wine called Cervaro, coming from Umbria, which was very, very, very innovative because it was a different wine, always keeping a very, very important step in the tradition. And then with time, also in Bolgheri, we started to make modern wines and different wines. And then with the success of the wine business in Italy, and also with all of the work he has done in traveling and making great wines and innovating the whole time, the company got bigger and bigger in terms of estates. He continued to buy different estates and to be curious in other areas, so Montepulciano, Sovana, southern part of Maremma, then we went in Puglia, in Piedmont, and in Franciacorta. So today our company has around 2,200 hectares of vineyards in the whole world. This is where we are today, so we obviously in time got bigger and bigger, and we never ever even thought about taking anything. For us, the family has always been at service of the company, and we never used the company for our services in a way. So this was what made let's say the company solid, with a very strong image, and also with this idea of innovating and looking always forward the whole time. So obviously we are three sisters, so my father has three daughters. We all participate in the company, and we add our let's say support. We travel a lot, and each one has a different role that we actually practically have. We have a CEO that is my father's right hand, who's called Renzo Cotarella, and then we have people that work with us since many years. So I consider also the people part of the family in a way, and it's actually true. We have people that work with us since a long time, that are very close to us, and that together we have developed our name, always keeping a strong identity with the family. It's a completely owned family business, 100% ours. We will try to pass it on to our future children. We have just done this new winery called Bargina with the idea of connecting the head and the heart, so the production side, also to the marketing, sales, financial side that was before divided. One was in Palazzo Antinori in Florence, one was in San Casciano, so next to here. So we decided to put everything together. We have 110 offices here, which are all looking in the vineyard, and the vineyard looks inside. We're open to public. We're developing now this new project of being open to public, and people can come and understand what we're thinking for the future. This is our way of looking ahead. When you go to the estates and to Palazzo Antinori in Florence, where we have our restaurants and everything, is our tradition. So this is our tradition that is looking for to tomorrow, in a way. It's very stimulating. We are one of those family businesses that is successful, which helps in the sense that it's obviously very important we're very happy to being able also to give something to Italy, to the territory, with this winery that we have done. It's also very nice, the idea of taking some of the Italian skills and everything out to the world in a way. So we're doing restaurants now, we're developing this to develop and to participate and to do it ourselves in a way. So it's obviously an added value. And you also have the responsibility to pass it on to the next generation, to do less mistakes possible. So, it's a challenge, but it's also pride. I think the story behind a bottle of wine is very important. And so this mix between the tradition and innovation is quite obvious in the production of our wines. We are not commercial. We don't look at the end of the day, but we look at the end, really at tomorrow. So being a family business and not quoted publicly or anything, we can really look for ahead. We can look at tomorrow. So whatever we do in the wine business, also takes long to make a wine. We always think very much for ahead, in a way. I think you need passion, patience, perseverance, because you know that you can make mistakes, and people. You need the right people. Well, we make mistakes, obviously, but you always need to reinvent yourself. You always need to travel to understand what is going on. You always need to do new things, to reinvent, never to rest on your laurels, and to do ideas, and to believe in your product and to be curious. It's very important. But wine has to be a wine that comes from the earth. So it's the quality. The quality has to be the first thing always. It will be always more towards export markets, and to reinforce the brand in emerging markets, which is very difficult. That is something that we may not be able to do in 1 or 2 years, but looking in 10, 15 years, so our reinforcing of the brand in markets like China, which are obviously very interesting. Also thinking about retail, so reinforcing the brand with retail and creating something that it's not really in our core business, but a good way of having people understand us in the export markets, and have people come to understand our tradition as well, like with this winery. So we have now to maintain and to reinforce what we have done until now. We are organized that every different estate has its own manager in a way, but also it's a young winemaker and vineyard manager. So we obviously try old wines. Our CEO, Renzo Buttarella, is a winemaker, and also, but every estate gives the chance to the winemaker to do, a certain percentage of the hectares to do some experimentation however he wants. So we all try, we give ideas, we try the whole time, we experiment. It takes 1 year to do an experiment in wine, so a long time, but we do it the whole time. So they can plant vineyards, they can try, knowing our style. We like wines that are very elegant, very fresh, very elegant wines, very refined. We look for fineness, and so for us that's that's a real quality in wine. It's not the strength, but the fineness. The quality of the wine is the most important thing, more than the identification, classification, more than anything. It's the quality itself and what it represents. Well, they have to represent their own specific territory. So Tuscany itself has some different grape varieties. Every region of Italy has different grape varieties. So you need to make wines that have personality, identity of that specific earth. That's very important, because Italy is so various in terms of history, in terms of territory, in terms also of kind of foods and influences that historically it has had, that I think it's very, very important that wine represents this. To make more and more, to be innovative in our technology, which is very important. So always working on the vineyard, we're always working in the sense of trying in the vineyard, which is where the grapes come from, to use less possible of medicine. So we're very responsible in our agriculture. Also, we do a responsible way in our wineries. So we are ecosostenibili, okay? So this is our obviously very, very modern way of respecting territory and environment in a way. So we are working a lot on that. We obviously do a lot of selection also on the grapes itself to make great wines. And we work on the quality the whole time. We're not looking for quantity, but we're working on quality, on understanding the territory, and it takes time. It takes a lot of time.